Are you considering making a move to Utah? Maybe you already have plans. Well, let's talk about some insider secrets that you may not have heard of. So on this video, I'm going to cover topics like pets, healthcare, toll roads, curbside recycling, solar panels, and make sure you catch my topic on homes with basements and many more items. So let's get after it right now. Welcome to the Living in Utah channel. I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent right here in the state. If this is your first time to my channel, you may consider tapping that subscribe button down below and hitting that bell notification, and you'll receive an alert every time I release a new video. And that's every week. And honestly, we've been helping people from all over the world buy or sell real estate right here in the area. So if I can be of any assistance, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whether it's days, nights, or weekends. We got your back when moving to the U state. As we get started, let's take a minute to discuss the current real estate market. Right now, we are seeing record low inventory, lower than what it was a year ago, which was record numbers back then. But it's not much better if you are looking to rent a place. Apartments, a little more availability, but if you're looking at renting a single family home, it's a tight market. It's a little tough. But as we go into spring, usually we will see inventory increase on the rental side and on the buying side. On the buying side, right now we're technically still in winter, so we do get some snow. Some people are not keen on putting their homes on the market in snowy conditions. Sometimes that snow gets dragged through their house, through their carpet. So some people like to wait to spring. When it comes to the rental side, it's very similar. A lot of landlords would rather rent their properties in the nicer weather time period. It's usually easier to find tenants during the winter months. There are usually less people looking for rentals. Okay, the first insider tip, let's call this one the geography of the state. Our largest population has to be from the Logan, Utah area down to the Provo-Orem area. It's a large area. That's probably our largest population. Our second largest population would be in southern Utah. Pretty much Cedar City down to St. George, that area of the state. The rest of the state is full of a lot of rural communities and a few national parks thrown into the mixture. We actually have a total of 5 national parks. And we have a large military base, and we have a large, what we call a test range. Thousands of acres that the military owns, and the military uses it. Their aircraft comes to the test range, drops live ammunition, live bombs. It's a very large area. Next on the list, we are a transportation area for truckers. And what I mean by that is, if you're trying to travel from, say, the southern part of the West Coast or the northern part of the West Coast, and you're trying to go north to south, one of the major roads that will take you nonstop would be I-15. It goes north to south, south to north, whichever direction you want to go. That's not the only road. If you're on the East Coast or the Midwest and you're trying to go to the Northwest, Oregon, Washington, I-84 is the road that will get you there. That road comes right through the northern part of the state. So if you see a lot of trucks on our freeways, it's pretty normal. In Utah, we're also looking at building what they call an inland port. And my understanding is it'll be like a shipping port. You'll have containers and trucks will be coming into this inland port. I've heard they would like to put a rail line into the inland port. So you have trucks coming in and trucks going out. The current destination for this is next to the Salt Lake International Airport. Next on the list, moving companies, particularly small moving companies. Some of the larger moving companies I hear very little complaints about, but the smaller ones I see complaints. I read about complaints. I read about scams, ripoffs, all right here in the state of Utah. Seems like they all just flock to this particular state. So trying to find a good small moving company is very difficult. Many of these companies reach out to me, for some business. Mike, if you know anybody that's buying or selling a home, give me a call. I will help them move. Well, every time I get one of those phone calls, I get a little nervous. I've seen so many of those companies cease operations. Sometimes I'll give them a call, and I've got it written down in my book as Big John's Moving Company, And they answer the phone as Big Bob's Moving Company, or sometimes the phone is totally disconnected. There was a recent case that made the local newspaper of a lady that was moving from Salt Lake City to Memphis. Well, she hired a company. They picked up her items. They showed up. Everything seemed great. When she arrived in Memphis, her goods did not arrive in Memphis. She contacted the local authorities. An investigation was done. And they found out that the company rented a self-storage unit, put the items in the self-storage unit, and then never paid the bill. So what are some tips to have a successful move? I thought long and hard about this, and it's not easy finding a good, reputable moving company. After all, some people cannot move the items themselves. Maybe they physically can't lift the items. Maybe they don't have the time to do a self-move, so they have to hire a moving company. First thing on my list, do some research. Check the internet, the Better Business Bureau, etc., etc. Number 2, very important, get an estimate in writing, and this will become important a little later down my list. The third item, avoid large cash deposits. Somebody needs a lot of money up front. Might be a red flag. It's a red flag in my book. The next item would be take action fast. If you feel your goods have not arrived or you feel you've been a victim of a scam, call the local authorities. And my favorite one on the list is the 110% rule. So if the moving company is holding your goods hostage, hey, we won't release it unless you pay X amount of dollars. Well, there's a federal law that states if your items are being held hostage and you pay the estimated costs plus 10%, they have to release your items. That's why the estimate above is very important. Then any kind of remaining balance has to be sorted out through like mediation or court proceedings. Next on the list, toll roads. Who hates toll roads? Who likes toll roads? If you're a fan of toll roads, let me know in the comments down below. You may be familiar with toll roads, especially if you come from the East Coast. Every time I travel the East Coast, state after state seems to have some form of a toll system. Well, in Utah, I'm only aware of one itty-bitty little toll road. That is it through the whole state. And this toll road is located in South Ogden. It's only about 1,000, 2,000 feet long. Someone noticed a need to go from South Ogden to I-84 in a quicker manner instead of going the long way around. So a private company built the road, put the toll booth in, and collects the money. The last time I was on it, I believe it was only $1. So while you live in the state of Utah, no more money out of your pockets for toll roads. Next on the list, curbside recycling. Now, not all cities have this program, but the ones that do, you will receive 2 garbage cans. One for general garbage and one for recyclable items. Now, both cans will go out front of your house for pickup. Some cities will only pick up the recycle can every week or every 2 weeks, but check with your local city on the pickup schedule that they have. Now, if you've got some larger items, maybe you just move into the house or you want to do some spring cleaning, I've run across some cities that will provide a courtesy dumpster or trailer that they'll leave out front of the house or in the neighborhood, put your items in, and they will come and pick it up at a later date. If you have any kind of hazardous materials, don't put those in your garbage can. You can take those items like oil, antifreeze, paint, etc. You can take them to the local city or county waste station. Now, most people call this facility the city dump. That's actually what I call it, but the official name is the county waste station. So next on my list, utilities, water and sewer and secondary water. If you have secondary water, some homes have secondary water to maintain your yard. It is typically your responsibility for repairs from the street to your house. So if you get a water line break or a sewage backup problem, if it's in those areas, it would be your responsibility for the repairs. Next on the list, solar panels. Very popular in the state of Utah. I see many homes with solar panels. You just drive by the neighborhoods and you see them all up on the roof. If you're purchasing a home, it can get a little bit complicated. Some people own the panels and the equipment outright. No problems there. Now, there are some people who have to take loans on the equipment and the panels. This equipment can be a little bit pricey, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. People who have loans on the panels. Some of the loans can be transferred to the new owner, and you can continue with the payments. some of the contracts are not transferable. The contract has to be paid off by either the buyer, the seller, or both individuals. And in some cases, you can get a different loan for yourself on the solar equipment and panels. Either way, if you are buying a home with solar, I've got you covered. I've got the exact form to help you out. Pets, one of my favorite topics. So in the state, we do have a leash law. So if you go to the local parks or recreational places, bring a leash with you. You may get fined. Also, some cities have laws on the books on how many pets you can own. Some of that information can be found in the city ordinance code for each individual city or maybe under a county code. We also have animal cruelty laws in Utah, and I'm a big animal lover, and I'm so glad that we have these laws. Say, for instance, you fail to provide food, water, and shelter. You could be in violation. If you abandon an animal or if you injure an animal, maybe somebody administers poison to an animal. They're all possible violations. And one of the best laws I think we have on our books, if you torture a companion animal, and that would be defined as a dog or a cat, it is a felony. Yes, it's a felony charge. And I've seen cases prosecuted in the state of Utah that have been very, very successful on the felony charge. So when in doubt, report all incidents to the police. Next on my list, homes with basements. They're very popular in Utah. We have many homes that have basements. Some people will tell me, Mike, I don't need a basement. I've got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths upstairs. Why do I also need a basement? How about some reasons why a basement may be a handy purchase? First on my list has to be storage. Maybe you've got items that you just want to store away where nobody will see them. You can close the door, leave the upstairs of your home nice and clutter-free. Them Christmas decorations, the Halloween decorations, the skiing equipment, the golfing equipment, maybe gardening equipment. Anything that you can think of, you can just store in the basement. A gym, you can make part of your basement or the whole basement a home gym. What a great place to work out. Also, about a home theater. Great idea. Put a big screen TV or a projection TV. Build yourself your own home theater that you can go down and watch movies. Or maybe you would just like to make it a sports room. I walked into one house, a basement, and they had a large room and it was separated. One person was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. One person was a Washington Redskins fan. And they split the room down the middle. On one side you'd have Steeler merchandise and the other side you had Redskin merchandise. His and hers. It was really cool. They each had their own place and it was all in the basement. How about some arts and crafts? Now my dad did this. He was looking for a home a few years ago. He's just by himself these days. He wanted a patio home. I said, no, Dad, you need something with a basement. You need a basement just to store items in. He really didn't want a basement. Now he has a basement and he is so glad. The basement at his house is unfinished. So he stores all his Christmas decorations down there. And now he builds some model airplanes. And he's got an area that he can just leave it on a table. And then go upstairs, come back down maybe a few days later and kind of like leave a little bit of a mess. Doesn't have to clean it up. And the handy thing is with the concrete floor he's got there, if he spills some paint or glue, it just goes on the concrete. It's fairly easy to clean up. If he doesn't clean it up, there's no real big deal. You didn't damage your carpet. And if some point in life, I told him, you cannot make it up the stairs, you can always close the basement door off and just live upstairs. He's so happy that he purchased a home with a basement. Now, this is very popular. Some people turn their basements into rentals. I just talked to a couple. They're paying $1,300 to rent the whole basement off an individual. What makes it kind of handy is if you can have a basement that has its own kitchen and laundry and bedrooms and maybe like a family room. You can get great money. It's a great rental opportunity. Great way to pay extra money on your mortgage, especially with the rising home prices. One thing that's a little bit difficult if you do make it a rental, it's hard to split up the utilities. What I find most people doing, they're just including the utilities in the purchase or the rental price that they're offering the home for. So that's some of my insider secrets. If you have any kind of questions, by all means, reach out to me. Glad to answer anything that I can. You can call me, text me, send me an email. Remember, we got your back when moving to the U state.